What up, gang? Can y'all hear me? What up, what up, what up? My hair's a little messy right now. I got this looks like a little Brillo pad. What's those things, a little loofahs? Look like I got a little loofah on my head. I bet. Is the Emirate Guru fat? I don't know. So, I'm jumping on this live right now. Just finished up my third day of testing. It was a 3-day process for myself. I got back to Vegas Monday morning, right off the plane. Dropped some of my stuff off at the house. Then we went straight over to the PI, and then we got warmed up, getting ready to go for the testing. The first day involved a lot of like strength work, upper body strength, lower body strength, punching, speed and power, jumping, speed and power, force, like just being able to generate a good amount of force. We had a good warm up. We did that, but obviously the last few weeks I've been kind of on a vacation tour, vacation run, not much training, like more for leisure than any type of gain. Just trying to stay somewhat in a little bit of a decent shape and not being a complete delinquent. So that was Monday. And then after we did that, we had a little bit of a break, and then we did another part of the testing, which involved like a 6-second sprint a couple of times, trying to test the threshold and seeing how much power, force, and everything like that we could generate through our legs, as well as using our upper body on the Aerodyne bike. And then we did a 1-minute all-out sprint for as long as we could go. So the 6 seconds were max, full max potential for 6 seconds, hard as you could go. And then we did a minute as hard as you can go for as long as you can go. When I was done, I felt like I was about to fall off the bike. After that, we got to take a break, and then he too low, aim for Allen or Yair. I think Yair is actually fighting Ortega again, and I think Brendan Allen's fighting Mozart Evloev. So after I did that testing, that was the last thing I had to do for the day. Tuesday we came back, did some orthopedic evaluations on my entire body, ankles, trunk mobility, wherever injuries are, rotation of the neck strength and everything. So we did all that stuff on Tuesday. And today we did the last part of the test. Oh, Alazar, thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. So today we did the last part, which was a 8-minute cycling thing. And each minute we increase the RPMs on the Aerodyne bike. And we did that to pretty much failure wherever we couldn't get to that next threshold and hold it for the entire minute. So you go 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. And to see how long you could go and sustain that power and that output for as long as you could. And that was honestly my best test out of all of them. Other than that, I forgot to actually mention the nutrition part of things, checking my weight, lean body mass versus fat mass in my entire body. And I actually check out to be an average size featherweight, which is crazy to me because every time I look at these featherweights, I feel like they're so much bigger than me. And it's very interesting to see the numbers, to see the data and see how my strength racks up, my endurance and all that stuff. And it's very obvious that a lot of my training sessions at 135, although I make the weight and although I did compete and win a lot, I've been doing this at a big deficit. And after doing everything, it gave me a lot more comfort in where I'm at and making the move to 145. But I got one other thing I want to do this next week. So as of right now, my mindset is definitely leaning towards 145 for featherweight. But I want to do one more round of testing of my own, because psychologically, I still feel like I need to be the biggest guy, because that's just what I did at bantamweight, what I've done as a wrestler. So psychologically, I need to make sure I'm going to be okay when I step in there, that I feel comfortable and confident that I could win and I can compete with those guys at that weight class. So that's like the next thing I got to do. So all the testing is done. I got all the metrics. I know where I'm at. I stack up well. I can compete with these guys. I'm even better in some numbers over some of the featherweights, which is pretty crazy. And I'm even over the weight limit of some of the average featherweights, which is kind of crazy. Because I still feel pretty lean. Okay, I see it a bit. And everything's good though. So I'm gonna do my testing, do my training stuff, see how I move with those guys, and then go from there. And after that, I should have a decision, and hopefully we can start looking at some matchups again. I know they mentioned Cater, and that was the one I was leaning towards as the biggest ranked name that I could get at the moment, because everybody else has fights. I saw something saying like someone thought like the UFC was being disrespectful. It wasn't that. They actually did offer me Arnold Allen, but then I guess they offered him to Mozart Evloev afterwards, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how long I was going to be away, so that was that. So yeah, that is where it's at right now. I see the poll. Everyone's saying I should move up. Bro, I was 173 pounds this morning, dude. 79, that's like 79 kilos. 79 kilos is crazy. And I don't feel fat. Like, I still feel like no homo. I still got like, you know. So as we're talking about the nutrition side of things, they're just telling me like, dude, you typically do fasted training sessions. And he's like, I'm actually astounded by how much you can train on how little that you eat in terms of calories and how well you've actually done over the years. It was like, you're the only person I feel comfortable doing that, restricting the calorie count and the carbs, and knowing that you're still going to perform and not have a hard time. It's a gift and a curse. You know, I've always had my teammates back in college that say like I was the weirdest freak, because the little bit that I'd be able to eat and still go through a hard wrestling practice in college, although I was young, those guys would be dying in the training room like, dude, I can't function like that. I don't know how you're able to do it. I don't know how I was able to do it. I don't know how I've been able to do this for so long. Most of my training camps have been about eating as little as possible and trying to do as much as possible. And the way they broke it down to me today was I focus more on breaking down the muscle mass, so protein breakdown, so that I can physically make the weight, because right now where it stands, my free mass, free body fat mass, something like that, whatever it is where it's just fat free, I'm 147 pounds. So everything else is like just the fat. My body fat percentage is about 13% right now, which is still pretty lean. So these numbers are very, very telling, and it does paint the picture of how much I've depleted myself over the years, because I've been saying it for a long time. I always feel like I lose a little bit when I get down 135. Although I make it, I complain. I definitely complain. But although I make it, I feel like my cardio looks nothing like it does in the gym. Even the fourth and fifth round against Henry, more so closer to the fifth round, where I normally get stronger as the fight goes on. Back when I was a little bit younger, I felt it in that one. I felt it in the Jan fight, even though I might not have looked it, kept the poker face, but I definitely feel it, man. I definitely feel it. Alazar Beckley, thank you for the donation. Can you break down on Mally Cheeto? I'm going by Cheeto by KO. Listen, man, I don't think this is going to be as dominant as people are saying and making it out to be. Like, O'Malley's going to come out there and kill Cheeto. Cheeto's very efficient. He does a great job of sitting in the pocket, very defensively responsible. His endurance always gets stronger as the fight goes on, because guys tend to tire themselves out beating him up or trying to beat him up. Even though against Sandhagen, he started to slow down, and he was the one dominating the fight for how long? You know what I mean? So it's a very interesting fight. I don't count Cheeto out. I think in the later rounds, Cheeto can get him in rounds 4 or 5, because I do think O'Malley's cardio, his gas tank, is suspect. I think he's relatively in that same bubble as me. He might not cut as much, but I think he's in the same bubble as me because he's so tall. He's gotten older. He's a lot leaner. I think that weight cut is taking something away from him too. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cheetah goes out there and wins again in the 4th or 5th round and gets a finish. That's just like not even trying to throw shade his way or nothing. That's just how I really feel based on the stylistic matchups. Aljo Career Rise, do you think weight class up and resume and the respect for the fans will be there because you'll always be seen as a 135 ago? Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, I want to do a couple more things with the grappling. and not the grappling, with the fighting, like actually sparring and seeing how I feel. My punch power is there, which is crazy, because I feel like I have way more pop at 145. Or should I say now? When I'm cracking pads, I feel like, yo, if I hit a motherfucker like this, I feel like if I hit a motherfucker like this, I don't know, that body might hit the floor. That's the way I feel. Like, no cap. That's legitimately how I feel. I have guys looking at me like, yo, dude, why don't you just do that? I'm like, because I don't feel like I can do that and sustain that for that long. So I don't. I just grapple because it's the most efficient way that I can kind of get by, you know? But right now I'm leaning towards 145. Featherweight funk is coming, baby. Let's go. I'm excited about this. I'm actually really excited about this next career move. I haven't made an official decision, but I'm leaning towards 145. I'm a little bit nervous because psychologically I got to make sure that I'm confident and believe in what I'm doing, and I think good things will happen. TGAHD, backpacking Max next. I think Max has a fight. Actually, he had the Taporia fight. Now that he doesn't, I'd be intrigued to know if the UFC would offer that one over Cater. That's going to be a question I'm going to ask the managers and figure that out, because I think that would be a cool situation to be in, where I could kind of pick which one I want to fight. Max would be a dream fight because Max is Max. Max is like arguably the GOAT at 145, and he's the champ if Volkanovski is not there, right? So that would be a very intriguing fight, and I know he don't get tired. So that is what scares me about that, but also gets me excited to know what my gas tank will look like at 145, and can I sustain the output that I've been talking about, I've been feeling a deficit in, because I've been cutting down so much and then trying to put all this food back in and not feeling that great on fight day, other than feeling strong. I feel strong, but I don't feel that great endurance-wise. Yeah, we're gonna see. Cater's I respect the hell out of both these guys, man. They bring it. It's gonna be a tough matchup either way. Looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be fun. Fun fact: Cater and I actually grappled. This was probably in 2010 or 11. Before I went pro, I was an amateur. Him and his crew came up, Y Crew Muay Thai or something like that, when we were the Team Bomb Squad boys training at the barnyard. And I think I actually submitted him. I don't want to make it sound like I'm bragging or anything, but I did. I submitted him with a flying triangle. But obviously we were both super green. I'm doing stuff that I saw in YouTube videos, and he was still building up to be who he is today. So you got two inexperienced guys, but it's just funny that the guy that I grappled with, we both eventually get to the UFC. He's the promoter / owner of Combat Zone in New Hampshire, where I actually fought as an amateur, where he had a lot of his fights. And then we trained together, full circle. Now we're both in the UFC, doing really well. And now we might potentially fight each other. It's actually kind of crazy how this whole game and how life comes full circle. Yeah, so that's it, man. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I appreciate the donations, and I appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting. Also, Nerd Focus, if you guys haven't heard, this is one of my partners. Check them out, because we're doing a crowdfunding. If you guys are interested and want to get in while we're still very low in the purchase price, you should check them out. I'm going to post a link for that soon. We're taking in investors, and it's gonna be an interesting time period to see how this goes. I'm very excited about it. This is the new Think Drink, something that I think everybody in here would possibly enjoy, especially if you're a gamer. Look forward to you guys trying it if you haven't. My favorite is the one with no calories, but if you actually like energy drinks with a little bit of carbs, go with the green one. But I like the blue. Other than that, yeah, I do read the chat, my man. I do read the chat. But keep the green hair for your fights. Yeah, man. Yeah, I actually like the green hair. I'm going to probably do that again, more than likely, for this next one. I feel like the green kind of gives me like this Green Goblin / the Riddler Green Lantern feel. And it's Jamaican, right? Green and black. Throw some gold on, and we're doing it right. Jamaican flag. Shout out to USA, though, of course. Always. Appreciate you guys, man. Well, I'm parked, man. Eyes on the road, but I'm parked. Much love. Thank you guys for supporting, always rocking with me. And we should have a fight announcement hopefully next week. Or if it's not a fight announcement, we should have a decision for sure. And hopefully we have an opponent through the UFC. And then we can make a fight announcement and get this thing going. Green Lantern because the character is black, my boy. All right, guys. Stay blessed. Peace.